Take your podcast to the next level with Media 22. From top-tier equipment to custom sets and a dedicated producer, we'll make you sound like a pro. We specialize in audio and video podcasts, video editing, content distribution, and live streaming for creators and businesses. Visit media22llc.com today for your free consultation. Media 22, where excellence meets creativity. Interested in becoming a big, joining an event, or supporting youth in your community? Visit BBBSMadison.org for Dane County or BBBS.org for nationwide opportunities. We'd love to connect with you. You are listening to the Big Difference Podcast, a podcast about empowering youth and strengthening communities through the transformative power of mentorship. I'm your host, Tracy Anderson, Community Partnerships Manager at Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County. And welcome. We are very excited to have an empowering conversation with an amazing guest today. I am so happy to have this person in the studio with me because I just know it's one of those people that you know you're going to have a great day. I look forward to it. So today we are talking about partnering for impact, a conversation with a business that supports Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County. We have Keri Allard with SustainableHR PEO and Recruiting joining us today. Hey.
Hi, Tracy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I was just so looking forward to this, like I'm saying, and we'll get into it in the podcast, but Keri and I met each other through networking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We met each other through DMI.
Yes. Was it a couple years ago?
A couple years ago.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were both ambassadors for downtown Madison Inc.
And
so,
I
yes.
remember you being so good to me, like,
Aww.
you know, you're a new ambassador. Do you need anything? Do you need help? Because I was just completely lost. Like, what is an ambassador for DMI? But, and then it turns out you are a big supporter of our organization, and we truly appreciate it. So you are the Director of Client Services at SustainableHR PEO.
Yes.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself. What does your role entail? And how long have you been the Director of Client Services at Sustainable?
Sure. So I am the Director of Client Services, and in that role, I get the opportunity to go meet with a lot of small to mid-sized businesses and a lot of nonprofits like Big Brothers Big Sisters to talk with them about the benefits of a PEO. And so that is a professional employer organization where we can partner together anywhere from sizes 2 to 200 to be able to offer them Fortune 500 like benefits. So health benefits, retirement, long-term disability, everything along that line, as well as HR and payroll. So we're able to combine all of those things into one to take that off of their plate. And with that, it allows them, to get the benefits where you can see a doctor and not be age rated and get the nice benefits of that. And giving you access to benefits that you would receive in a large company. And then you're able to get those working for a small company that you usually wouldn't have access to. And since we are a small firm, we're able to customize and totally work with the companies to make sure that they're getting what they need and they're not overspending.
Okay. So that is so interesting to me because obviously I know where you work and I've known a little bit about what you do, but I think that's what I love about this podcast is you hear things in more detail that you didn't realize. So I think with nonprofits, is that your specific focus is nonprofit organizations?
I would say the bulk of our business is nonprofits. And so we really like working with nonprofits because they don't always have the funding. And so if you're able to offer benefits, that is excellent just because that is so crucial in America.
So then this brings a question to mind, like with nonprofits that you're looking for, are there particular criteria that you're looking for? Like when you're out and wanting to work with a nonprofit?
No, we work with anybody from the sizes of 2 to 200. So it's completely up to you. If you need health benefits, if you don't need health benefits, we can carve that right out because there are some firms that have been grandfathered into brilliant plans and they don't need our health benefits, but they can still partner with us and we do their payroll, their HR, and they can still have access to dental, vision, 401k, everything like that. So that's where we're flexible in that sense, where the big nationwide firms, you have to be a little bit more stringent just because they have such volume. We are able to customize things.
Very good. Yeah, this is all good to know. So everybody at Sustainable HR, honestly, you guys seem like the happiest people ever. Whenever you guys are at an event or I see you out, even as a group, you guys are just so happy. And genuinely, you can tell, love working together. So
Yes.
what first inspired Sustainable HR to get involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters? And what events have you supported with us in the past?
Sure. So I think what first inspired us when I started at Sustainable was, of course, my friendship with you. I got to know you, I got to know Sandy, and then I have the personal connection with Big Brothers Big Sisters, which is my dad being a big. And so Sustainable is really, the owners of Sustainable, Mike Kolath, Mike Brand, Jason Wilborn, all really believe in giving back to the community. That is paramount in our business, is that you need to give back to the community that we live in. And I got to know you, and I told everybody about the mission, and they wanted to partner as well with you guys.
It.
And so last year we went to the gala, which was amazing.
Oh, good. You were happy with that?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was great. And seeing all the kids welcoming you when you come in, it was just great. And I loved the speakers, seeing the bigs with their littles. And then we also did the trivia night. And so again, this year we're going to do the trivia night. We're doing the gala. I know Jason sits on the committee for the gala, and I'm on development committee as well. But yes, we've kind of jumped in and want to give back.
That's awesome. So, why do you think, is there a particular reason? Do you ever get feedback from the people you work with as to why they like Big Brothers Big Sisters? Is it just because you kind of introduced it to them, or is there anything specific that they say?
I think it's about the relationships in the community. I think, we see the kids and it's the long-term effect on the kids in our community and being able to have that relationship, and they see the value that it brings and everything. And sometimes when we work, some people already have like a house full of kids, and so they don't always have that time, but there's different ways you can give back within Big Brothers Big Sisters. Being a big, of course, is extremely important, but if you don't have that time yet, you can give financial donations, but there's also like the school program where you can go in and volunteer at a school. So there's different ways that you can get in there and do that. So I think it's just our youth is what's going to make tomorrow. So you need to make sure you're taking care of that.
Yeah. And I know every company has their reasons, right? And I'm finding that too, like being a partnerships manager, really finding out what aligns with the company, because there are so many nonprofits here in Madison,
There are a lot of nonprofits here in Madison, and they're all doing phenomenal work. And so but I think having you in that role is that you are so genuine, and, I've had you. We've worked together with United Way and going out and do partnerships. That way you go out and speak to people and organizations to share the mission of Big Brothers Big Sisters and what it does and how their donations impact Big Brothers Big Sisters. So
you're such a great ambassador for us.
Yeah,
you really are. Sometimes I get emails like, well, Keri said you're looking for an NFL player. Or Keri said that I was like, she did what? I haven't even talked to Keri. I talked to her last week. What are you talking about?
You needed an NFL player.
Yes. Or I remember that time we were at the DMI. So just for everybody who doesn't know what DMI is, Downtown Madison Corporation.
Yes.
We are members. And so we were on a call, and they were asking, during the call, they asked, are any of the members, is anything going on that you want to promote? And I didn't say anything because our website wasn't live yet. And Keri's like, actually, Tracy, Big Brothers Big Sisters is having It Takes Little to Be Big. Tracy. I'm like, or maybe it was the gala.
It was the gala.
Yeah. And I was like, the website's going live hopefully soon. But it's great to have you in my corner, because I think sometimes you do help give me that little push that I need.
I think it's hard when you are doing development and constantly asking for resources. It's a hard thing. And, you're doing it for all the right reasons, but I think having somebody else say it and champion it as well is so important. Hence you guys have your board, and now you've started these committees for different areas as well. So it's more people championing Big Brothers and Big Sisters and spreading the word. So it's not just you. It's not just Sandy. It's not just Bethany. It's not, Megan. You guys have a team of people that are championing you, not just one person.
Yes, it definitely helps. Thank you. And as you mentioned, you are on the development committee. So what made you want to be on the committee, and how's it going for you?
Well, we just had our first meeting this week, and it was amazing. A lot of information to take in, but that is all getting us acclimated to big Big Brothers Big Sisters and the mission, the funding, like everything that's going on, what you guys need, what you're looking for. And development committee, I met with Bethany and Sandy. We kind of discussed some of my interests. And I said, planning a gala is nothing I ever want to do.
Right.
I don't plan parties.
Right.
So please, dear God, do not put me on that.
Yes.
But I said development was one area I was interested in just because I am a champion for you guys. But basically kind of like looking at board and like compliance stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of, and sometimes nerdy things.
That's good. Yeah. And I think you're such a great, like when we did have our call, you're just such a great asset. Obviously, I think you'd be a great asset on anything that we could use you for. I think you're great with coming up with the ideas. And have you thought about this yet? Have you reached out, to this business or, just that's what I do like about the committees. We have a lot of committees, but I mean, it's nice to hear other feedback that's not around you. So you said you have a personal connection to Big Brothers Big Sisters. Yes. Your dad was actually a big. So can you tell us the story about that?
Yeah, sure. So my parents actually were divorced. And so I lived with my mom full time, but then I went to my dad's for summers and everything. Mm-hmm. So when he didn't have me, he was very involved, like building orphanages when he was overseas. And then when he was back in the States, he became a big brother when we lived out in Washington State. And I remember going out to meet his little for the first time. Mm-hmm. And he and I were the same age. And I just did not understand the concept of Big Brothers Big Sisters because I want to say it was like 10, 11. And I just thought it was like, yes, I knew he was hanging out with, he had a little who didn't have his father in his life. But I thought their family was amazing. Like his older sister was a cheerleader. She would babysit me. And I was just like, I thought it was more of a privilege to be hanging out with his family than it was even my own. But I know they went to baseball games together. They did things every single week together. And it was really, I can look back at it now and be like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much my dad did and how giving he was. And I wish I could have understood that better at that time. I try to do that more with my kids now, like making sure that they understand those things. But to my dad, it was just, that's a part of life. Like you give back. And so, but yeah, that was a huge impact on him. And he was his big for a couple of years until he moved overseas again. Okay. Because he was in the military, so moved around a lot. But yes, but it was amazing. Like I just thought their family was the best. So I was confused as to why my dad was helping them because I was like, they're amazing people.
Yeah. And do you remember how old his little was at the time?
We were about the same age, so 10, 11.
Okay.
Yeah, we were exactly the same age.
And it's funny. So you said a couple years, and people don't understand. Sometimes that's all it takes is a year or two. Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, the goal is to have lifelong connections, but things happen. Yeah. Bigs move, littles moves, graduation, all different types of things. But, sometimes it's that year or 2 years. Like I was just talking to someone last night, and he's like, I think he said he was a big in high school. There was a program or something. And he said, I don't ever know what happened to the kid, but I spent time with them for a little bit, at least. And I'm like, yeah, I think kids, if we go back to thinking when we were children, like how our brain processes people that came into our life, what they did, even if it was for a short period of time.
Yes. I think, when you go back to school, sometimes it could be a teacher or an adult that had some sort of pivotal just had that powerful impact on your life that changed you for the better. They might not have been in your life the whole time, but they were there to help you get to that next spot. And I think it's kind of showing, sometimes it's getting that extra support, if you maybe your mom is busy or, and she's working and you have other siblings. So sometimes it's getting that one-on-one connection with somebody that you're seeing. Yeah. And it's not that you're not seen at home. Right. It's just there's a lot of things going on. Right. And so sometimes it's having that person that just believes in you, that you feel believes in you more than anybody else.
Right. Yeah. And parents are busy.
Yes.
Yes. And people are busy. So whether you're a parent, whether you're single, whatever, people are busy. And I think you're absolutely right. When you have kids, especially like maybe with siblings in the house too, and maybe there's an age difference with the sibling or whatever, I've just noticed too, like being a big myself, like having a little, that's theirs, that's their thing that no one else can like take from them.
Yeah. Nobody's getting in on that. Nobody is a part of it. Yeah. And I have 2 kids and it's, it's hard and trying to raise them and work full time,
Right.
raise them, making sure they get to the doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, and everything else they have. Sometimes as a parent, you have to do all these other things that you don't get to have some of those maybe special moments that where a big definitely brings in those special moments that are just for them and they're celebrated.
Well, and getting them to the sporting events, I don't even know how you do it.
Well, thank goodness they can drive now.
Yeah.
But it's like,
but
I always say,
couldn't.
I know it takes a village. It literally takes a village to raise. Yeah.
Yeah. So kudos to you.
Get ready to shine at the Dream Big Gala, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County's signature event on Friday, July 25th at the Madison Marriott West. This year's theme is Gilded Glamour, a dazzling night of refined beauty, golden elegance, and powerful purpose. Celebrate the brilliance of mentorship and help unlock the incredible potential in every young person we serve. For tickets and event details, visit BBBSMadison.org because mentorship is golden.
So we were kind of talking about like all the nonprofits in the Madison area, and you guys love giving back so much, but I'm just curious, like as a group, do you all decide, because we were kind of talking about budget before we got on air, but I want people to understand, like as a company, because there's so many wonderful nonprofits, there's so many things that we can support. How do you guys all factor like who you're going to support, who you're not? There's how many galas going on, like how many fundraising events, like how do you choose to do that, especially budget-wise, too?
Yes, and we're a smaller company. You know, we've been around for about 5 years, so we're not a company that's been around like 40, 50 years where your budget is huge. I would say, so number one, we always try to support our clients in any factor. Like if they are doing, if they're having a show or something like that, like, or they're having an event, we want to go and support it. So we always try to like split our funding up. And of course you look at your budget and just go, okay, last year we did this, 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 and this, and we might have some new clients. So we always try to do it that way. If we have businesses in town, we always try to go there. So if I have meetings, I'll go to that coffee shop to make sure that I'm with, supporting their business. I would say, and then for nonprofits, we do have Sustainable Gives Back. And so that's where you can apply for a $1,000 grant, and we give that away every quarter. And that you don't have to be one of our clients. And that is just more or less, you fill out the form, and then as a company, we vote on it. And so it's just about getting in there and gives us the opportunity to learn about other nonprofits.
So I love that you brought up the grant. How often do you guys give out that grant?
It is every quarter. So right now it's coming up. You want to have everything in by the end of March, and it's on our website. And then, it'll have the next one as well. But anyways, once a quarter, we hand that out. You just fill out the form, and then it gets sent in, and then everybody reviews all the documents, and then we vote. It's always about that. And it's horrible because I go out and get so many people. I try to champion everybody's, and they're like, can you just stop?
Right.
They're
like, this is too much, Keri. You like everybody.
I know.
I was kind of curious too, is like, as far as the staff goes, because I've talked to other businesses too, where they kind of decide who to work with based on each staff member, like what they're passionate about. Some people might be passionate about animals. Some people might be passionate about reading, and then they kind of decide how they're going to get involved in that way too.
Yeah. I mean, I think some people do that. I just kind of get out there. And for me, it's about the mission, but it's also about the people in the organization and the authenticity of that. And there, like you said, there's so many nonprofits, and you and I go to so much together.
We do.
We have met so many insanely talented people who truly care that it's so hard to pick one.
Right.
Hence, I struggle. I'm like, but I think everybody has their different area. Like I have a person in the office who like loves her dogs and, like super into animals and everything like that. But I think that's great because then it brings around something that I might have never known about.
Right. Yeah, that's really good. And then do you feel like as a business, do you guys kind of reevaluate every couple of years? Well, maybe we should start, because I've talked to other businesses too. Maybe they've worked with us and we get it. There's so many out there. But maybe they've worked with us for 3 years and they've sponsored, this event. And then they've decided, well, we're going to like try to sponsor, because they're trying to like spread the wealth. Do you feel like as a business, as a company, you guys are every 2 to 3 years kind of reevaluating?
Well, we're still so young. We haven't got to that point yet. But I have worked for bigger firms where I think that goes usually a bigger firm is a little bit, you have larger. So the CEO might have more of a pull on that. And sometimes it's how it's connected to them, unless somebody can really come up with something very strong and passionate. Otherwise, I think sometimes that's driven by the CEO, and it depends on how close they are to whichever nonprofit. And then a lot of companies here in Madison, I think, know that they want to give back, and they usually just kind of have those ties. Right. Some might be like, oh, we need to spread the wealth, so this year we're doing here, and this year we're going to do here.
Right.
But I think a lot of people, as you get to know the nonprofit and build those relationships, sometimes it's a little harder to pull away.
Yeah, it's about the relationships for sure. Absolutely.
And we've talked about this is Madison, like neither one of us are from here.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. And I think, as we both said, we go to a lot of events together and we meet a lot of people.
Yes.
And we are both the type of people, we like genuine.
Yes.
Like, we do not like...
We're both very genuine.
Yeah.
We have those friendships and those connections, and we've gotten to know people.
Yeah.
And it's great because it's led us to a lot of different friendships.
It has. It has. So if a company were to get involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters and sponsor an event, why do you think that would be important for them to do?
I think it's important mainly because Big Brothers Big Sisters is doing so much work in our community and with our youth. And everything starts with our youth. You know, when you're working with kids, if they can't read, I think I forget if it's like third grade, but if they're not reading by third grade, you know, successfully, that starts to go, you know, downhill, and they're not going to want to finish school. I think it's just so important that we take care of our youth, because that's where everything is.
Yep.
If you take care of your youth, then they're going to continue through school, and they're going to continue their life, be successful. And that's important. It doesn't matter if you graduate and get a job, if you go to college, if you go to a technical college, like there's so many different avenues that it's just so important to foster our youth, because this is who's taking care of us when we get older. We need them to be successful in order for our economy to go, everything like that. So for me, it's about, you need to invest in our youth. Absolutely. And they need to have those successful relationships to continue.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It does start with the youth. And we've got statistics that have come out from our national office that prove that a child that's had a big in their life, you know, they're more likely to go to college or possibly get a better paying job and give back to our society.
Yes. And you had somebody that believed in you.
Yes. Yeah, I love it. And so can you share with us, Sustainable HR, what you all plan to sponsor with us this year? Like what the partnership looks like with us this year?
Yes. They want to do trivia, so they're doing trivia.
Okay.
I'll be the entertainment. I don't know if I'll be on trivia or not. I mean, I think I could win if you had a Real Housewives section.
Me too.
Of the trivia
I totally
game.
agree.
Past that, I don't know. But
I totally agree. I always say I'm the worst person to go to trivia with, unless you want me to just hang out with you.
I know. I can hang out and smile. So we're doing trivia, and I'll be hanging out and smile, and maybe like bringing drinks to people. I don't know. And then, of course, the gala will be doing that as well. Just kind of however else we can help, you know, volunteering with the committees, Jason on the gala, and he's excited. He's had fun going to those meetings.
Good.
He's already talking to me about him.
Oh, really? Oh, good. Okay. He was so excited for our gala last year.
Yes, he is a party planner, and who knows what suit he's going to wear this year, and we have to make sure that it matches Miss Verona's dress.
So, oh, really? Well, I was just going to say, I was a little disappointed he didn't come dressed up last year. Well, nobody did, because we themed.
Oh, yes, you did theme. Yeah. He was too nervous that nobody else would be dressed up.
He was right. Nobody else did.
He was way too worried, because he bought an outfit, and he was ready to go.
I thought you showed me the picture of it.
I did. He has the outfit. And then, but he did dress, and he matched with Miss Verona's dress. Like, literally, the two of them were perfect together. It was a great photo.
Okay. All right. Well, I love it.
So now that I know that it's Dee Dee's mom, I'll just call her and be like, hey, what's your mama wearing?
Yes, please. And we'll have to make sure to get Dee Dee to the gala.
Yes, if she's not in a foreign country.
Right, because we know how she is. I want to kind of pivot a little bit and talk about your involvement with American Heart Association's Woman of Impact campaign.
Yes.
It launched this past year in February. It's such an honor. Can you share more about your experience and what this recognition means to you?
Yes, it was such an honor to get that phone call. And so this is the first year that American Heart Association is doing Woman of Impact in Madison. And so it is about raising awareness and bringing to light that there is a disparity in the gender gap of research. Everybody thinks that cardiovascular disease is just a man's disease when it's really the number one killer of women. And so it's about bringing awareness to that, raising funds for research to help build a healthier community, everything around that. And so when I met with Victoria from American Heart Association, I vividly remember meeting with her when we were discussing it, and I was sitting in my husband's hospice room, and I was like, well, I don't know. And then I was like, I need something to do because after, he was passing away, and I needed to have something to put myself into so I wasn't like hovering over my children. As she was telling me about, cardiovascular disease and all these facts, she was a mother of twins, and sometimes what your body goes through when you're pregnant, the lasting impacts because of the high blood pressure you get and everything during your pregnancy lasts longer. And so she was telling me all these things that I just didn't know. And I was like, how did I not know this about my own health? Because I'd like to think that I am up on my health. And I was so not aware of different things that I thought, well, if I didn't know this, how many other people don't know this? And even if I don't raise the most amount of funds, if I can just raise awareness, so we're all looking into this and taking care of ourselves better and advocating to kind of decrease that gender gap in research. Because if you think about it, we have all these hormones. So how do you prescribe medication for somebody not understanding where they are with their hormones, with perimenopause, with menopause, all these different things where men, not to say that they're simple, but they're not going through all the hormonal change that women are going through. Yeah. And so that is just a whole nother spin in it. And so for me, it's just been more impactful that way. But then rallying together with my friends and my professional network and working together with them to do that, it's just been such an amazing experience that way. And I've just loved seeing how people have come together with different ideas and, oh my gosh, have you done this? Or I'll donate this or that. And so not that I would do this again, because it's stressful. I don't know how, I look at you and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so hard. That's a hard job. And I'm just doing a little bit of it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I know that when you announced it, the community just loves you.
The outpour of love was amazing. And it just kind of made me feel even better that I had made the right decision, you know? And so, and, my parents were both very proud.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Do you like how the campaign went? I know you said you may not do it again, but did you like how everything?
Oh, yes. I would not do it again just because it's stressful. Because when you're doing this for another organization, you want to be like perfect. You want to do it to the best of your ability, and you want to make sure you raise the most amount of funds. You want to and I like to win, but it's one of those things it's great. It's a great experience. And I think it's something that everybody should have part in, whether you are the team lead or whether you're a part of the team. I think it's just amazing to be a part of that process. And then also just bringing awareness to whatever issue that's out there that you're passionate about. Yeah. And for me, it was learning all these things about my own health I didn't know about.
And I appreciate you spreading that knowledge because there are things, like you said, that I didn't even know. And it's true when your body's going through all these different things, whether you're pregnant, perimenopause, whatever. Yeah. How do they treat people and you don't even know? It's so true.
Yes.
The research is just not there.
And so getting the research there and having it out there is important. And so I think that's the most important thing is education. Education in general, you never stop learning.
Right. Exactly. Well, congratulations again. Of course, such an honor and just so well deserved. Well, we're going to wrap up this podcast episode. I have one last question.
Yes.
What are some ways that others in the community can make a big difference in the lives of youth through mentorship?
Oh, my goodness. Well, if anybody wants to be a big, I think that is huge. And when you are a big, I think people get too nervous about it and they think it's too big of a commitment. Mm-hmm. And it is a big commitment. You need to be serious, but also just remembering you're not going out, you're not raising this child. Right. You're giving back. You're going out. You're meeting with them at least once a week. You get to go do some fun things. You get to experience kind of your childhood again a bit, but through different eyes, maybe doing things that you never got to do yourself. But it's just it's giving back and it makes you feel good. It makes your heart happy. And if you don't have that time to be a big, maybe you're like, oh, I just don't know if I'm ready for that commitment. I think the mentorship program, in the schools, going and helping with homework, doing that. I think that's such a great way to be able to do that just I mean, there's so many avenues. And then if you don't have time for that, there's always monetary gifts because the monetary gifts help you guys build and continue your mission. So yes, I think, being able to just get in there and give back, and it's just going to help the community. And I think giving is the best thing ever. And it just makes you feel so good. It's like I don't know. It just, when you have a good life, you need to give back.
I agree. And you make a great point that we always try to stress every time. I think you're right. People think they're raising a child and that's not, so they get nervous about it.
You get to do the fun stuff like grandparents is what I say.
That's right. I always say it's not about being perfect. It's about being present.
Yes. And like grandparents, they sometimes have to have those hard conversations, those aunties and uncles.
Yeah.
You have the hard conversation, but you're still getting to have fun.
Yes, you are. I feel like you said, you get to do so many things. And I think for a big, it helps you be present yourself in your life. We have so much going on in our life. And, sometimes we need to stop, take a walk in the park with a little, that we probably wouldn't do if we didn't have one.
No, just go in the park and play catch.
Right.
Go play pickleball.
Yes, I love pickleball.
Have you taken your little to play pickleball?
No, not yet. I wonder if she would like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet. I mean, it's fun. It's fun to try.
Well, we're at that stage, too. This is a great stage because we're figuring out all the things that we enjoy doing. So you kind of like trial and error activities. Okay, so she did not like making bracelets. I bought a bracelet kit. I thought this was a great idea from Target.
Yeah.
Too many beads.
It
takes a long time. We're sitting there like trying to put each bead on the string. She's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I couldn't blame her.
I know.
But then we like going to pumpkin patches. So we like doing that. I just have to find one that's closer or...
She's an outdoor girl.
Yeah, well, she likes crafts, and I think maybe a Halloween party might be better for her next year.
She likes pizza, I know.
She loves pizza with Parmesan.
Yes. I remember she wanted that Parmesan.
You have to have the Parmesan. Oh my gosh, I just have this quick funny story. So we hadn't been on that many outings yet, and I took her to Sugar River Pizza because I love that place. To get pizza, their pizza's really good. And so she kept on saying, what did she call it? There was something on the table. And she thought it was Parmesan, but it was sugar.
Oh, no.
And I didn't know what she meant because she's 7. So I didn't understand, so she was putting sugar on her pizza and she thought it was Parmesan.
Oh, poor girl.
And I was like, you like sugar? You like that on your pizza? And she's like, oh, yeah. And then when she got home, like I told her mom, I was like, we had a good time, but she put sugar on her pizza and then she didn't like the pizza. And she's like, she probably thought that was Parmesan. I was like, well, I didn't know.
That makes sense.
I just learned something there.
You were like, maybe you should like salty pizza?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, girl, whatever, do you. Okay. All right. Well, Keri, thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you for listening to the Big Difference Podcast, a podcast about empowering youth and strengthening communities through the transformative power of mentorship. Again, I'm your host, Tracy Anderson, Community Partnerships Manager at Big Brothers Big Sisters. Again, I knew today was going to be a very fun day. It was going to be the best day ever with my girl, Keri. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This has been so much fun.
Yeah.
I love being in the studio. And thank you for making it green.
So you would do the podcast again?
Everybody should do the podcast. Yes. Are you kidding?
Okay.
I'm going to get myself a job on the radio.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, sounds good. We can't wait to hear you on the airwaves.
Who knows what I'll be talking about?
You will talk about so much. It'll be a good show. All right. If you want to learn more about Big Brothers Big Sisters, you can visit our website at bbbsmadison.org. That's bbbsmadison.org. It's all about making the big difference. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Interested in becoming a big, joining an event, or supporting youth in your community? Visit BBBSmadison.org for Dane County or BBBS.org for nationwide opportunities. We'd love to connect with you. Take your podcast to the next level with Media 22. From top-tier equipment to custom sets and a dedicated producer, we'll make you sound like a pro. We specialize in audio and video podcasts, video editing, content distribution, and live streaming for creators and businesses. Visit media22llc.com today for your free consultation. Media 22, where excellence meets creativity.